Have you ever wanted a nice looking tank but don't know how? You see these amazing YouTube aquascapes, but you don't have the time or the money to be pulling those off. This is a beginner's guide to a natural aquascape. This is my 55-gallon natural aquascape, and honestly, I'm really proud of how this is turning out. And it's chaotic, but in a very controlled sense, I guess. I could remove the sponge filter if I wanted it to be a lot more, but I just love sponge filters, so I'm keeping it in there. And look at this. The fish love it. The microbacteria love it. And honestly, this tank is thriving. The only thing I wish I could change with this tank is how much the plants have grown, but I don't have money for a CO2 tank. Despite the lack of boom in the plants like every aquarist is hoping for, the tank has stabilized in a very nice way. I ended up switching out some of my pothos plants, and I took the bigger rooted one and put it in the bigger tank, and the fish love it. They hide, they nip at whatever food gets stuck there. Despite this plant doing good, I am having some trouble in the tank plants as this plant's base has almost completely rotted away. But as new growth appears, we just have to be patient with the progress. Collecting the foliage was the easiest part. These are palm fronds from literally my tree outside, and these were dead, fully dried, and what I did was boil them for about hours. These palm fronds produce a biofilm that feeds microorganisms and bacteria in the tank and allows some other fish to pick off of them as well for snacks. The other leaf that I'm using are these almond leaves. These break down a little bit faster, I noticed, than these palm fronds, and honestly that's totally fine. And what it does as it decomposes in the substrate, these quarry cats are going to be mixing it around and allowing some fresh nutrients to these plants. Some other botanicals that I'm using are these acorns. I'm not too sure of what type and what from tree. I traded them from some plant cuttings from another Aquarius nearby. And I do highly recommend joining and trying to find a local fish group in your area, as you can find some amazing deals on fish, plants, and you can be a part of a bigger community. I do something that some aquarists don't highly recommend, is leaving dead and decaying leaves on the bottom of your substrate, as these leaves can raise ammonia as they're not doing anything, they're dead, they're decaying in the water. But what I like is how they decay in the substrate and the plant itself reuses its own leaves. The idea with this aquascape was to have 2 points of attention, one to the right and one to the left with plants. And honestly, I really love it, and especially with the foliage is, kind of chaotic, but it makes a good breaking point and a good transfer point over to each side. And the roots provide a really well needed cover for these angelfish, especially since these plants aren't fully grown in yet. So I'm gonna go over some frequently asked questions on how I made this tank. What's the easiest way to find foliage and botanicals? In my opinion, there's multiple ways you can go about it. You can go out for walks. There are different resources online to plant sightings, and you can use that to find some aquarium safe botanicals and use those. But if for whatever reason there isn't anything nearby, you can go to your local pet store, or you can go online. Places such as Aquarium, Co-op, Aquabid all have botanicals that you can buy for a relatively good price, and they don't come with pesticides. Do I ever worry about the ammonia, nitrate, and nitrite in my tank? I still do weekly water changes, but it's only about 10 gallons per week. And it's because I rely heavily on this plant in the middle and the spider plant on the side over here. Both these plants have been shown with different studies and researches that they pull out tons of the nasties of the water to keep the water fairly clean. And not only that, on this side, if you have been following the channel for a while, I'm into hydroponics, and these are tomato seedlings, and these all have been growing really nicely, and they all require a very, very heavy nutrient uptake. Help, my water is turning brown. Water turning brown is perfectly normal, as that's the tannins from the botanicals that you're using. Honestly, it's all for preference, as the botanicals in the brown water or tea water can be used as an antifungal and antibacterial if your fish are nipping at each other. If you do not want the tea water in your tank, all you have to do is water changes, nothing too heavy, but the tannins are going to leak again and again and again, but over time the tea water is going to leave all the botanicals. What's your method of growing plants? I am not running CO2 in this tank, so it doesn't have the big boom of plants as I like, but I am dosing with Flourish from Seachem. It's a fairly good one. I prefer the Aquarium Co-op one, but I don't have anywhere near me that sells it, and honestly the shipping right now is kind of pricey. So here is this, if you want to look at the ingredients. But all you do is pour a cap full every week, and that provides all the iron and other stuff. I'm not too sure. The micro elements, trace elements, and other nutrients for the plants. So that's why some of these plants, their leaves are so green. Well, some of them are dying back, but the leaves are maintaining thanks to the Flourish. And for the ones that are planted in the substrate, I have aquatic fertilizer tabs. These are perfectly fine. They have the same elemental composition as other root tabs, name brand ones. And this is a 100 count for $13 on Amazon, and these guys are growing crypts. So those two green leaves are brand new. That one is new. This one is maintaining, and the leaves are getting bigger. And this one is the brand new one, and that's already sprouted 2 leaves. So they can definitely grow plants, especially the harder plants like crypts. If you have any questions or advice on how I can make this tank better, or for other aquariums, please feel free to comment down below. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.